Welcome to TPM Vid's Disney Beat, where we talk about all things Disney. If you're new to the channel and like what you see, hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon to be notified when we upload a new video. You can also find us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind was one of the most heavily anticipated new rides coming to Walt Disney World. After being announced at D23 in July of 2017, the ride officially opened in World Discovery at Epcot on May 27, 2022. It replaced Universe of Energy, which was one of the original pavilions when the park opened in 1982. Although the ride is now a defunct piece of Epcot history, Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind has many Universe of Energy Easter eggs hidden throughout, plus so many other fun secrets. So sit back as we count down the top 10 hidden secrets and Easter eggs in Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. Number 10. As soon as you enter the Wonders of Xandar Pavilion, you step into the Galaxarium, which is a planetarium-style space display. It has such a relaxing and aesthetically pleasing vibe. Now here is where you get to learn a little more about the planet Xandar while viewing stars and other planets and intergalactic objects.
My home planet might look familiar to you, as it shares many features with your Terra.
WorldMind, the supercomputer, is constantly learning about our Earth from Star-Lord, aka Peter Quill. So while you're waiting, you may stumble across his mixtape. Another out-of-place object you might see floating in the Galaxarium is a giant
turkey leg. Why only the leg? What about the rest of this creature?
They're probably one of the most popular theme park foods around. Turkey legs made their Disney theme park debut back in the late 80s over in Frontierland at Magic Kingdom. Seeing as how Peter Quill was abducted off Earth in 1988, it sounds like he remembers eating a famed turkey leg as a kid. I mean, he's the one who's been teaching the WorldMind about our fascination with them. The Galaxarium loop lasts around 30 minutes, so during your time in this room, you'll never see and hear the same thing twice. Number 9. The Xandar Gallery is the second room of the queue. There's a lot of cool stuff in here, but just note that if you use Lightning Lane, you'll bypass this part of the queue. Now, the Xandar Gallery explores and teaches guests about the Xandarian culture, history, and people. But Imagineers managed to include a little tribute to Walt Disney. In this first display, we learn that one of the Xandarian cities was designed with a radial pattern in mind, just like the visionary ideas of Walt Disney.
Terminal prototype community of tomorrow. We are gratified that he and you appreciate the value of good design for better living.
This is Walt presenting his vision of the experimental prototype community of tomorrow, which would later go on to inspire the version of Epcot we have today. We don't get to see Walt Disney himself in too many attractions, so this is a really special tribute to the one who started it all, and the history of Epcot. And speaking of the history of Epcot, the display also includes a little nod to the now extinct Maelstrom in the Norway Pavilion.
Our oceans produce both energy and food for our population.
A maelstrom is a powerful whirlpool, and one of the ways Xandar produces energy is through the ocean. The fact that they talk about producing energy feels like a little tribute to Universe of Energy, and that is just the beginning. Number 8. Just past the Walt Disney tribute, you'll come across a model of a Xandar city on display. In fact, this model was inspired off Walt Disney's Progress City model, which can still be found today at Magic Kingdom. The People Mover actually displays just one small part of the original model. It used to be found at Disneyland on the second floor of the Carousel of Progress. The Xandar City model definitely carries a very similar forward-thinking tone with a modern, otherworldly flair. This model is also the site of what appears to be the only hidden Mickey in Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. Now, hidden Mickeys actually began during the construction of Epcot. At the time, the park had no Disney characters present, so Imagineers came up with the idea of subtly hiding Mickey's silhouette into design elements. Today, everyone is on the hunt for hidden Mickeys at all the theme parks. So on this model, you'll find one in this grassy field. It's easier to spot once you've made your way around to the other side of the model. But that's definitely a hidden Mickey. It's clear as day. Now, have you spotted any other hidden Mickeys in Cosmic Rewind? Comment below. Number 7. Another display in the Xandar Gallery is a little segment called Good Morning Xandar. It's the Xandarian spin on Good Morning America. Each of the Guardians of the Galaxy are interviewed, and when it comes to Peter Quill, well, it turns out he's quite the Epcot fan. But since he was only on Earth until 1988, a lot of what he remembers is no longer around.
I would love to say more about how Terra was chosen for this Wonders of Xandar tour.
Well, that was totally my idea. And Epcot, too, because I love that place. It's awesome.
I went there as a kid, and I cannot wait to get to go back and ride Horizons.
Well, that closed in 1999 and was replaced by Mission Space.
Also want to see the energy dinosaurs.
Those are now fully extinct since you dropped the Wonders of Xandar pavilion on top of it.
And, of course, here, the veggie fruit from. It's the best.
The singing animatronic fruit from Kitchen Cabaret haven't sang that song since 1993, and now that area is used for the Soarin' Q.
Can't wait.
Okay, well, I'm sure it will be wonderful for you to relive all of those memories.
Peter Quill might be a little disappointed to learn that none of those attractions are still at Epcot. But for us, getting these little tributes to these now extinct attractions is a really fun detail. Number 6. With the ongoing Epcot transformation, one aspect of the original Epcot Center that was reintroduced was the pavilion icons. You can find them on the flags at the entrance of the park, where some of the original icons have even been brought back. The Wonders of Xandar Pavilion received a brand new icon which can be seen as you scan into the ride's queue. But during this building's time as Universe of Energy, this was the original icon. Well, after you make it out of the Cosmic Generator in the second pre-show room, you'll see this diagram of the Xandarian ship you're trying to escape. On the bottom of this diagram, there are a series of 9 icons. And if you look to the far left, wouldn't you know it? But that's the old Universe of Energy icon. Imagineers included this as one of the 9 symbols to identify each of the Starjumper ride vehicles. Now, at the bottom of the diagram, there's a phrase written in Xandarian. At the top of the sign, there's a little guide that can help you figure out the Xandarian alphabet. So when we translate this to English, it says, check for Starjumper identification marks. When you look at each of the trains, you'll see these identifying symbols on them. I wasn't able to see the Universe of Energy train for myself, but on your next ride, see if you can spot it. Number 5. Universe of Energy featuring Ellen's Energy Adventure was the second incarnation of the Energy Pavilion. The Ellen version debuted in 1996, but prior to that, the original attraction featured its own theme song called Universe of Energy. This is the version of the song as heard in the Epcot Forever fireworks show.
Feel it glow, see it glow. It's the universe of energy. The universe of energy.
It's a catchy little tune. Now, as your ride vehicle on Cosmic Rewind passes through the jump point and is met with Esson the Celestial, carefully listen to the melody of the guitar lick.
It was useless to follow me. What is that noise?
Noise? No one's gonna stop rock and roll from existing. What have we done?
If you couldn't tell, that's the melody to Universe of Energy. Tyler Bates, composer of the Guardians of the Galaxy films, composed more than 2 hours of original music for the attraction. And I mean, what a great musical tribute to an Epcot classic.
What have we done?
Number 4. Another Universe of Energy Easter egg can be heard as soon as you go through the backwards launch. Now there's a lot happening here, but you'll hear Drax say, "Was that the ding dang?" followed by Peter Quill correcting him. Take a listen. Well, Drax calling the Big Bang the Ding Dang is a little reference to a line of Ellen DeGeneres' dialogue in Ellen's Energy Adventure.
Better put these on. Hearing protectors. Because it's the Big Bang. The piggy bank?
No, the Big Bang!
The ding dang?
The Big Bang!
Oh.
With everyone yelling plus the music, it can be a bit difficult to make out, but next time you ride it, see if you can hear it. Number 3. At the end of your ride as you approach the unload station, you'll notice a stark difference in the design compared to the load station. Well, that's because when the ride ends, you're back on Earth in the backstage part of the Wonders of Xandar Pavilion. Now, it's not actually backstage since it is a guest area, but it was designed to mimic a backstage area at Epcot. Now, you're probably saying, well, how do you know it's backstage? Well, once you exit the ride to head back into the park, you'll make your way down this flight of stairs. On the back wall at the bottom beside the door, there's a mirror, and this is a little tribute to actual backstage areas at the theme parks. Each entrance to the park from backstage has a mirror for cast members to do a final check before heading back on stage. When this text on the mirror is translated from Xandarian, it reads, "Observe. Everybody neat and pretty, you are now entering Epcot. Smile, you are representing all Xandarians. Do it well." And the top of the door reads, "Now entering Epcot." So as you pass through the exit doors, you're back on stage in Epcot. Number 2. Now, Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind is Walt Disney World's newest ride, but it's also a record setter. The show building that houses the physical coaster is massive. It's longer than a full football field, and by volume alone, you can fit 4 spaceship Earths inside the building. That's how big it is. Now, a show building this size means a coaster to match. In terms of track length, this is the longest indoor steel roller coaster at any Disney theme park in the world. It has a track length of 5,577 feet. To put it into perspective, Rock 'n' Roller Coaster is only 3,200 feet. Cosmic Rewind just happens to be the longest enclosed steel coaster in the world. And it doesn't fall too far behind the top 10 longest steel coasters either. The number 10 spot is held by 2 coasters at 5,600 feet each, so it's just 23 feet shy of making the list. Disney hasn't released the top speed for the coaster, but I'd say it's more intense than Space Mountain, but less intense than Rock 'n' Roller Coaster. If I had to give a rough estimate, I'd say the top speed is about 45 to 50 miles or 72 to 80 kilometers per hour. It's fast, but a lot of the intensity of the ride comes from the fact that the ride vehicles spin. So let me dive into the little secret I figured out. Number 1. Now, early on in the announcements of the ride, it was described as an OmniMover coaster, which would spin and direct our attention to the show scenes. It's what made this coaster unique, but now that it's open, we've learned the spinning can be a bit disorienting. After being able to ride it a couple times, I figured out the secret to not getting as dizzy is to sit closest to the front as possible. There isn't as much whip, and you can see what's coming in front of you a lot better, which mentally prepares you for the movements to come. I found the further back you are, the more whip and force you feel, which intensifies the spinning of the ride vehicle even more. The last row was definitely the most intense, and that's when I got a little dizzy walking off. I had to lean against the wall for a couple minutes. Now, sitting in the second car, I actually felt perfectly fine when I got off. In the end, this ride is loads of fun, and it's such a great addition to Epcot. The fact that there's also 6 different songs you can get while you're on the ride just adds that much more re-rideability. So have any of you had the chance to check out Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind? What are your thoughts on the ride? I'd love to know. Leave a comment down below to start a conversation, and don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video.